Hey guys, what's up? It's Danny Plays and welcome back to another video. Not sure why I'm starting here. This isn't really where I need to be started. One second. Anyway, let me just get straight to the point. This video, I mentioned it in my last one. I said I would be doing a video about towers and like how to build them and tips and tricks and stuff. So, here we go. I'm gonna start with one I already have pre-built that I showed in the last one, and then I'll move on to some other designs. And I thought about them doing them biome based. And if you guys like this video, maybe I'll do a biome based one too. But today we're just gonna do a normal designed one. But we're gonna start with one I already have built. We're gonna ignore the red things because that's kind of biome based. I just only destroyed something here, so we're just do it here, I guess. So let's just take... Okay, so it's not just me. I was in an older world, and I guess the textures didn't update in that world, because the cobblestone looked really ugly in that world. But I like it in this one, so it's fine. Um, anyway, so the next tower design I'm gonna go with will follow a similar idea, but it's gonna be... Ooh, this might actually be a bit big. Yeah, I'm gonna scale this down. So we're gonna start with 3 across, 2 like this, 1 like this. I'm not actually sure this is any smaller. In fact, this might actually be larger than the one I was just doing. But whatever, I'm sure it's fine. So now we've got a base. Now, this is pretty big, so I'm not going to go very high with this one. And it's going to get smaller pretty quickly. But the design I'm doing now is going to be a 3-tiered circular tower. And with a coned roof. Now, coned roofs are really hard to do. So, this might not be the best tower in the video. But we'll see what happens. Okay, now that we've gone 3 up, I think that's good for the first layer. We're gonna go in, and we're gonna have it be like this. So just fill in the area beneath it, and we're going in detail this later. Because I guess this is... Because it's probably going to take a while to build, I'm going to say that this video is going to be more of a tips and tricks than a designs video. If you want a designs video, I'll do that later. But now let's see. So this one's 3. This one's smaller, but it's 3 wide in the center. So let's see. How does 5 look? See, I didn't think 5 would look tall enough. So we're going to go up to 7, and then we're going to shrink it one more time once we get all the way up. So let me just speed up this part because you've already seen this part. Here's a little quick picture of a castle I started building while I was bored while you wait for me to finish that. Okay, now that that's done, see we've got a nice base, and I'm actually gonna, because it's driving me crazy, I'm gonna start the details, but only full block. Now, this is an extremely large tower. Like this, I did not want it to be this large, but guess that's what we're getting, so. And somehow, I don't think it's getting much smaller. I may actually go in one more with this one and have it have like a little balcony space, because yeah, like I might only have it do that ring and then come up and do this. Really, with towers, a big thing is you just have to judge scale. So let's see, this is a lot smaller, so we can probably just go up 5 with this one and be good. I'm not sure. I'm gonna finish this up and we'll see. Okay, so now here we are, but I actually don't think that that's tall enough. I think it has to actually get taller. So, oh, if you look over there, you can see stuff for my time-lapse, my steampunk time-lapse ideas I had and stuff. Now, I actually forgot to do something with this tower, because I had a special idea in mind for this tower. So, basically, on this ring, I want to go out again, and I want to make it so that this tower kind of has a secondary tower within it. So it's not, and this is a cool detail you can put on towers, where it's like one tower finished up, and then they just put another one in the center of it. Like, and this actually worked out perfect spacing wise, which almost never happens. And I did it pretty much unintentionally, so I'm glad that worked out. Okay, so see, now we've got one tower with another tower coming out of it. And this tower is going to get one smaller, but this is where it's going to come up and start being finished, I guess. So what we're going to do is we're going to have that little gap, then it's going to get bigger again. Like so. So now we've got it like this. And we could just go and be like, done and dusted. We could just do that, but that honestly doesn't look that good. So we're actually going to expand this out once more, make it slightly larger. We're going to get rid of these. Now I do have a reason for building the initial one. Ooh, that doesn't work. So we're going to change it up. Oh, I don't like that. It doesn't fit perfectly like the other one did. Okay. We're gonna have to do a necessary evil and make it so the ones on the sides look like that, while the ones viewed from the front be like this. It's not terrible, but I don't like it. So now, the reason I did this is we're actually going to have not a third tower, but like I said, this tower is going to have a spiral roof, so we're actually going to do the room that's on top of it now. And I'm only going to make this room go up to be 3 high. 3 high works, but I may actually go up to 4 and then do it on start the roof on the 5th layer. So now we've got this. Now the reason I did the rest out of stone is because I can just texture it up and add details. The roof is going to be a different color. I'm thinking a blue, maybe? A bluish color could be good, so we're gonna take... yeah, that works better than bop. And where's my weathered copper? There we go. Bam. So now we've got this. We're gonna go around, and I'll texturize this later as well. I guess this is not only tips and tricks, but showing you this design in particular, but I guess once I get this roof done, I can take a step back and explain it better. Anyway, in order to make the spiral roof, you gotta start by doing kind of a not triangle, I guess pyramid shape is a good way to describe it. You then go around, do something like this, make the pyramid go up by 2 this time instead of 1. Go in like so. Build up the pyramid again, this time again with 2. And bam, you've got a coned roof. Now the coned roof should have some overhangs. So something along these lines. Bam. Now, before I texturize this, let's go back and I can give you guys some basic ideas of tips for building towers like this. First, you always want the bottom base to be short, stubby, and wide. You don't want it to be too tall, because the taller you make it, the taller you have to make the tower. Like, this tower is extremely larger than I wanted it to be, all because I made that base extremely large and actually taller than it probably should have been. But because I made it so large, it had to be that tall, because otherwise it would simply look ridiculous. You really have to be careful about height and width. Next, it got slightly smaller, and since it got smaller, I had to make it a lot taller. But building at that scale would have meant making this thing ridiculously tall, and by the time I got to the roof, it just would have looked stupid. So what we did is we went in and made a secondary tower coming out of the first tower. So having this kind of battlement thing and then adding the second tower makes it look like the thicker base is an intentional, almost defensive structure, and then the secondary tower, much thinner, and it doesn't have to go in that much. It goes in once, and then you can have the battlements again, and we can go in again and get a room. Now, I personally don't think I made the roof big enough. I think it still looks a bit odd, but doing a pointed roof on towers like this isn't necessary. I could have just done a third round of battlements, and it would have looked good, but I thought a pointed roof would be good for this example. Now, the last part is the detailing, and I can't really explain how to do the detailing because it changes exponentially for each build you do. Like, this build will be completely different to any other tower. Essentially, the universal thing for towers is actually can be changed if you want to make kind of a more unique and weird design, but big base, skinny body, gets big again at the top. Now, I actually made mine get smaller at the top because the battlement didn't go out very much, but you usually want it to get big at the top again. And then multiple layers, always a good idea, because one layer just looks too flat. And for roofs, spirals and other battlements are always good, but there are other things you could do. I can't really think of those right now. But let's just get into the detail, and I'll be back when I'm done with them, and I'll try and explain them as best I can and why they work for towers. Okay, for the first part of the detailing, I did some minor details. First, I cut open a door, did some windows on each side. Now, this tower is symmetrical, but if you're going for something a bit more fantasy or magical, definitely don't make it symmetrical. Make it weird and I may even do this in the second half, which while it would look a little odd, I can demonstrate something else, and that's kind of the point of this video. But anyway, putting these here is a great way of contrast. Same with the window. I did brown windows for a contrast color. Now, I did the bricks because they're not a full block, so they make an interesting detail as it is. But more than that, they're a contrast as the other textures. I mean, cobblestone's very busy, and it kind of mixes the cobblestone and the stone, as cobblestone's very busy, stone is pretty bland, and the bricks are an in-between. So they help match those together and make it fit a little bit better. For the battlements, I did these little custom railings, added some spikes to give it a little bit more height, added these supports to make it look like it fits more. And yeah, all in all, this isn't too much detail. It's just a bit of contrast with the blocks, and that's the biggest thing. I definitely think contrast is the biggest thing, but also using blocks that aren't full blocks to add shape. Like, without stairs and half slabs, I would not have been able to do this, and these walls definitely help. So I'll quickly do the second part, and I'm going to do this one slightly more fantasy. This one was pretty much just medieval. I'm going to do this one a bit more fantasy to make it look, so I can just explain that look a little bit too. Second layer of details, you can probably already see the really big difference, and I kind of wish I'd done the whole tower in this style because it actually looks really good. But a big thing with fantasy towers is, one, the windows are uneven. Like, look, this one's lower, it's taller, this one's higher and shorter, this one's lower but the same design. We've got the brown for contrast again, but this time there's a lot more green. Fantasy towers, at least the ones that are located in like forest and plains, always have a ton of life growing on them, and they're more stylized. Like, look up here, these things are more pronounced, and it's just overall a just kind of more stylized look to the whole tower thing. And the last thing we really have to do is just the tower. Not the tower. The whole thing's the tower. The building in the tower, and this is probably going to be the least detailed bit because the top you can really do anything with. Like, really, you can do absolutely anything with this. So I'm just going to add some of that for texture, and you know, I'll have some leaves crawling over like so. No, that looks a bit too much. Yeah, not sure how I feel about that. So instead we'll just have the leaves kind of, yeah, that works better. So we're gonna just have leaves piled up, even some in front of the windows. Just stuff like this. Little things. And I would say that's done, but we have to finish the roof first. And we're going to do this by taking some of these blocks and just throwing them in there. And there's a lot more I could do to this, but this video has already run long. I'm probably going to have to find a way to shorten it. I don't know. But we're going to do whatever happens, and we're going to just roll with it. So now we've got a little bit of extra texture on there, and I want to do, the last thing I want to do is make, you have to crouch to do this part. Oh, wrong way. I want to make a proper point on this, and it looks like they don't actually have any darker colors, so we're going to go with that. this, and bam. That's the tower. That's the tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, this is how you make towers. If you want a video more about designs or biome designs, biome specific designs, we can do that too, but I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.